trips.
The Midwest Drive is a riot. Jay Brooks and Britt's humor is just so contagious.
It's nice to sit back in the car and listen to it while you're driving.
On the road again.
When I'm in the car, I always turn them on.
Turn it up. Turn up.
Buckle up. You're riding with Jay Brooks and Britt on the Midwest Drive.
Britt, we're driving to Iowa. Well,
Kind of.
Short drive. Exactly. So we've got our artist, Mike Bernard, is on with us here in the Midwest Drive, and we're talking. We're gonna get a little bit behind the scenes of how Mike got to be how he became, if that makes sense, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, well, Mike, let's go way back. Okay, you're a little kid in diapers dancing around to the radio. Is that something you were doing? Is that kind of how the whole thing got started, or what?
Yeah, in a way. I'll just start out by saying I'm probably the least musically inclined person in my family. I come from a long line of all-state choir members, whether it was band, singing, aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, my grandma, all the way up through Sweet Adelines were all musicians or singers. And they're all better than me, but I'm just the one that's willing to kind of put myself out there a little more, I guess.
So what happened? You were the gear carrier, and then all of a sudden somebody's sick, and they go, "Hey, Mike, you got to get in here and fill in."
No, it was I was the one that growing up I had to carry the roses that people gave my sister after her performances. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but when you did show choir or any choir or whatever, when you got done, your parents or whoever gave you roses, I had to always hold them because, I'm the younger brother. So I sat through a lot of choir, a lot of show choir competitions, a lot of marching band competitions, a lot of just normal band. I don't know what that's called, but so I spent a lot of time in music. My grandfather was a DJ. When he was younger. So before I was born, but he was a country music radio DJ for a long time in Nebraska. And they have a farm in southeast Iowa, just outside of Albia. And when I would go down there, we'd still listen to all the old stuff, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Billy Joe Shaver. I call it the old stuff, I guess. And then back all the way into the 50s. And then he just gave me all of the vinyls that he used to use for the radio station. So then I got really deep into vinyl music and appreciating vinyls, and just did music all through school, choir, all that stuff. Never got really into show choir, but did choir.
You didn't want to have jazz hands?
Not good at jazz hands. No, there's just some things you just got to say this. I'm not good at this. And that was one of them. But I did do choir. It was mandatory by my parents to do it. Looking back, I'm glad it was. And then I tried to play. Band was mandatory for my parents. So I tried to play the trumpet and failed miserably. So in about 8th grade, I kind of put music away for quite a while. And then all the way through high school, didn't do it. And then just about probably going on around 10 years now, I had some things going on and needed to find an outlet. And I picked it back up and kind of just ran with it ever since. So here we are.
Nice. So you find out that girls like guys that play guitar.
Well, yeah. My first guitar I had a very unique name. I probably won't say it. But, it revolves around making a noise that brings the gals towards you. We'll just leave it at that.
Some sort of mating call, Britt.
Anybody want to comment on what they think it is? Go for it.
It is still named that, but that guitar doesn't really go out on the road anymore. It's too special to me. So it sits at home and it's what writes the songs. But yeah, so I just picked it up and this is where I'm at now. I just kind of ran with it and needed some healing, and music definitely heals. So
Sure. Britt, you got a question for him?
I guess my question is that getting into singing and songwriting, how did that kind of progress from, playing the trumpet?
Well, to be honest, I just hated the trumpet. I wasn't any good at it. But when I was in school, the way you had to get into band was you all sat in a circle, and you were like in 5th grade, and they just passed around instruments. Looking back, that seems wild now, but they just passed around instruments, and you like tried to blow into them or play them, and then they just decided like, oh, I think this is where you should go. You should be over percussion, or you should be in brass, or whatever. So it was bestowed upon me, if you will, and within a year, it was that was over.
So you squeaked the clarinet, and they said, "No way."
Yeah, that's not going to work. No,
Yeah.
And I don't even think they gave me a guitar, so I don't think that was a thing back then.
Wow.
But and then when I was
Everybody would probably try the guitar if that was in band.
yeah. And when I was 17, I lost my dad to cancer, and I really needed an outlet.
Sure.
That guy was my hero, and taught me everything. So I needed an outlet. And at that time, I didn't dive straight into music, but I started writing. I wasn't an angel growing up. My mom would tell you that. She loves the song I'm the only hell she's ever raised. There's a lot of truth to that with me. So it could have gotten a lot more deconstructive, but I went to writing, and I think that kind of pulled me out of a lot of stuff. So
yeah, do you write a lot of your stuff?
That's kind of where the writing stemmed from. Just how to get things out,
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of songs that I've been willing to release. It takes time. And I am starting to release some, but everybody likes to make the comment that most of my songs are sad songs. I'm the guy that it could be a Saturday night at 2 a.m. and you play, He Stopped Loving Her Today, and I will be jamming out, like I'm at a concert. Like that stuff gets me going. I appreciate the lyrics. I appreciate the work that goes into that stuff. And so I just kind of gravitate towards that. So I have a lot of sad songs, but I write to get stuff out, not to get hits. So it's kind of just where they go.
Understandable.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Jay?
Do you write a lot of your own stuff? I mean, alone, or do you have guys that you get together with and throughout the Midwest to write some songs together, or what do you do there?
So everything so far I've written alone, with the exception of Harvest Hustle that's going to come out. That's a really, really special and unique song, and there's a few reasons why. But as far as the writing goes, I have a musician buddy here in Marshalltown named Robert Mahari, and he's also writes for a local paper. And so I wrote this whole song, and I spent, months on this thing. And I'm like, I just don't know how to end it. I don't know how to get out of this loop and just end this thing.
Sure.
And so we went into the studio to start the recording, knowing I didn't have an ending. And I told him that. And again, I spent months doing this. And in 5 minutes, he wrote the end, and it's probably the best verse in the entire song. So
were you drinking when you did it?
We were partaking in some things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it always helps relax.
The creativity was flowing. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Perfect.
So when you're not songwriting, you grew up on a farm or not? Did you, with the Harvest Hustle, with that single, is that something that you can, it's a true story or what?
It is, but not so much about me. That one. So my aunt, uncle, they were very big farmers up at Story County area, for crop farming, did that for years. So occasionally we'd go up there, they get behind, whatever family helps out, right? Clean grain bins, whatever it is. And then my mother, aunts and uncles grew up on a cattle farm down in southeast Iowa, right just out of Albia. So they dealt with cattle. Most of the time I've been around, we just rent that land out to another guy who's got his cattle on it now, but then it's our job to kind of maintain that property make sure all the electric fences are working in good order, making sure all
Sure.
the ponds are good with water, all that kind of stuff. So I've got to dabble into both of those worlds, all growing up. Then my father, he worked for John Deere for 34 years in Ankeny. So that's what took us to Ankeny. So did all my schooling and stuff in Ankeny, and then spent summers and, spare time down
Sure.
south at the farm.
Britt, you're going to like this because I know you like cowboys. You didn't know that about her, did you, Mike?
Mm-mm.
She likes cowboys.
Well, I was married to one. Let's just put it that way. I was married to a bull rider. So I'm not going to say that I like them as much anymore.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but I just had to have a come to Jesus meeting with myself, and I just sold my practice bucking barrel 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
I used to ride bulls, and told myself I'm going to get hurt before I get rich. So it's time to hang it up.
I don't think as many people realize what an underground rodeo scene there is in the Midwest, especially Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska. Like being able to hit 5 rodeos in a weekend is nothing for the Midwest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's alive and well if you know where to look for it.
Correct.
I was on a bull called Polar Vortex at the Maxwell Rodeo. God, I don't know how many years ago this was, but and the gate opened and I fell into the well inside of the spin, and I wore a helmet with cage, and everything. Got to protect this, and his horn came up right underneath it and caught me right here in the chin and knocked everything off and knocked me unconscious, and woke up to one of the bullfighters just yelling at me to move. And that wasn't the first time something like that's happened to me. But I did decide that was the last time.
The universe was giving you a little bit of a sign there that maybe instead of using your hands for hanging onto a bull rope, maybe use them on that guitar.
Yeah. And I had a full-time job then, and I was like, if I get hurt, I'm going to lose this job. And that job actually makes money. All I'm doing here in the rodeo is spending it. So it was time to move on.
But
it
that
hurt a little bit.
That
It hurt a little bit. I still have my shafts are actually hanging right there. I still have my riding glove back there.
Yep.
But
so
got
Cody
ready.
Johnson's Deer Rodeo hits a little home for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Especially the being unsuccessful part.
So
He did now though too. So he did bull riding early on.
Yeah, I still feel it.
So here's the next show. Here's what I want you to do, Mike.
Yeah.
Is put those chaps on and walk out on stage.
Just those, or should I?
Well, no. Put some on there. You don't need no ass chaps out there.
I mean, don't test me with a good time. I'll deliver.
Don't you think? I mean, then you got the best of both worlds. You're playing your guitar, you're strumming along, and you got your chaps. So it's a comfort zone.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't remember being too comfortable up there on those, but
Britt, would you prefer him to have some pants under the chaps or?
Yes, please. I think that everybody would be a little bit more comfortable if he doesn't just go with the assless chaps, which all chaps are assless, but still.
I typically don't speak for others, but I think I can on this one, and I think everyone would prefer something underneath.
Yes, yes. Yeah, keep that 9 to 5 instead of a little bit of side hustle on there. So,
got to keep a little mystery.
Right? Exactly.
Hey, it's a way to go viral, man.
Well,
true.
that wife he's got there.
Oh, that's right, the wife.
Yeah.
I forgot about the wife.
And I got 2 daughters, so.
Oh yeah. No need to have dad going viral.
That.
Right.
But for the music, tell us a little bit more about the Harvest Hustle. Tell us, you were talking about how that has special meaning because the family behind it and everything. Tell us a little bit more about, kind of what's in this song and why it is the special song that it is to you that's coming out.
Yeah. So the Harvest Hustle it's all about thanking farmers. That's it to a T. Like I said, I grew up with family that farm both crop and cattle. And I saw that it wasn't always easy. I live out on an acreage. 3 sides of my property are bordered by crop fields, and then it's the Iowa River on the other side. But so tons of friends at that farm, and it goes very, very underappreciated, undervalued, in my opinion, and overlooked on how important it is to farm and what they're doing, and how hard it can be and stressful it can be. And that song kind of touches all of that. What makes it really special for me is if you've ever been to a show of mine or seen any of my stuff, you'll know that I don't really shy away from not caring about Nashville. And I personally don't think that you have to go somewhere like that to produce a song, to make it a good song. I think you can do it right here. So the rule I had for this was, so this song, when it comes out, people need to know that everything you hear was done by some buddies in a basement.
Nice.
Now, it wasn't bad equipment, but it was myself and 4 other musicians. So obviously I have the vocals on it. And then Buzz Owen is a artist out of Marshalltown. He does the drums. He's also producing and mastering it. It's his basement. Robert Mahari did the lead guitar. My buddy Luke Fox, if you've ever heard of him, he's up for Maverick of the Year award, I believe, for MCMO. He's a good friend of mine. Excuse me. He put the harmonica on it. Joshua Rex, who is currently with Corey Waller and the Wicked Things, their fiddle player, he put the fiddle on it. So what was important to me was to be able to tell a story of, hey, this is this song. This song has meaning in itself, but also the way this song was created has meaning. Sure. This is just some buddies, some fellow musicians with an idea, and we did it having beers, having fun in a basement, and that's all you got to do. You know, support local, include your local musicians. When one rises, we help each other. We all rise. But you don't have to outsource it. You don't have to. It's okay if you do, but you don't have to. You don't have to outsource it. You don't have to think you got to spend $10,000 to go to Tennessee, Alabama, wherever. You can make really great music that's really going to touch people and relate to people, and just keep it simple.
You know, if you really want to
what's that?
If you want to keep it really homegrown, Britt, I think this would be kind of cool. Instead of the basement, do it in the corn crib.
There you go. Acoustics might be hard to figure out, but
a little bit harder. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm very about homegrown. I'm very about supporting local, and yeah, I just think if you can keep it simple, you can support each other, get everybody on that song together. We worked through the process step by step, and we had fun doing it, and so it's extremely valuable song to me now, knowing that it's me and all my buddies on it, and the stories that we have creating it are also invaluable to me. So I'm pretty proud of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about the Midwest Drive is we're focused on the Midwest. You mentioned Nashville and going to, you don't have, I mean, Nashville's great, but you don't have to do everything in Nashville to make a great country album or even music.
Right.
You know, so.
Iowa has an incredible country music scene. You just have to, you know, like the rodeo, you have to find it. You have to know where to look. And unfortunately, it's not the radio right now. I'm not trying to put any digs in on anybody, but you don't hear a lot of Iowa musicians on your major broadcast radio, right? You just don't. So they're out there and they're doing amazing stuff. But if you want to find them, you got to go look for them. So you got to go into those venues. You got to follow their pages. You got to follow along. You got to see where they're at and then go see them live. Because that's, if you want to tap into that, that's kind of the only way to do it.
Well, it all goes with supporting local. And of course, you know, Kiss Country, we do that noon. We play the Midwest Country Organization, or the originals.
There's awesome stuff to help with that for sure.
Yeah.
That's
what the Midwest. Yeah, and that's what the Midwest Drive's all about too, is to get that out there with the help of, you know, we're growing it. We're What are we doing, Britt? What is
Homegrown. We're
Homegrown.
homegrown.
There we go.
Corn fed and homegrown.
I like it.
Yeah. What do you do in your spare time? What, you got a wife and 2 kids? What do you like to do with those? What do they like to do, or make it drag you around and do stuff?
Well, in my spare time now, I'm dad. That's about how where all my spare time goes to anymore.
Yeah.
I don't do music for a living. It's kind of a side hustle, if you will. So I have my normal job, and then, I'm out almost every weekend doing music. So any time frame in between that, I'm pretty hell bent that I'll be home and I'll be with my kids and my wife. So
Did you sing during the kitchen at all, or around the house at all? Just kind of.
Oh man, my daughter, my 3-year-old Leah, she loves to hear me sing. My wife is my biggest supporter, but I think she's also done hearing the same songs for the 400th time. So she never complains, but she could probably do without it at home.
Yeah.
So where's a venue that you would like to play? So whether it's Midwest or out of the Midwest, what's one of those bucket list venues that you've got on your list?
So a bucket one that I've got on my list would be, that first comes to mind, would be the Showboat Saloon in the Wisconsin Dells.
Yes, that one's a cool one.
Yeah, we went up there as a family last year, and everyone had fallen. We were at Great Wolf Lodge, and everyone had gone to bed, and I was still up, so I snuck over to the Showboat Saloon and listened to some live music and talked to the manager there and a couple bartenders and the people, and it was just an incredible atmosphere all the way around.
Sure.
Just the patrons there, the people working there, the music was great. So that very quickly got put on my bucket list.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that Wisconsin Dells has some pretty cool venues.
Yeah,
there.
it really does.
Yeah, they tend to just go for either the rafting or the Wolf Lodge there, or they've got the outlet malls that are pretty much in the parking lot of the Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, they got a pretty cool macaroni place too. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, don't they?
Yeah.
Britt, you like macaroni?
Oh gosh, yes. Macaroni and cheese is like what I grew up on as a child.
Yeah.
So.
I like this. So we do smoked macaroni and cheese on the smoker.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think I'll take my steak smoked and my macaroni and cheese by itself.
Oh, not until once you have it smoked mac and cheese. Oh man,
it's hard to go back.
Yeah. Are you a big smoker, Mike?
I personally am not.
Like food.
In my full-time job, I work in a firehouse, so there's always someone that's going to make some good food. So I get pretty spoiled on my meals every third day, and those guys like to smoke stuff. So
I'm sure. Good. And they know how to control the flame too.
Yeah, right. I'm not the cook in the crew. I'll admit that, but I do get to partake in everything that they make. So
they just want you to bring the guitar and sing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't do that for them either.
They're paying you not to?
Yeah, probably. You got to keep it separate. No, well, man, some of those songs are personal stuff, and you can't give it to them early because they'll find ways to use it against you. That's
right.
Firefighter brotherly love right there.
Right.
Sure. Britt, you got any final questions at all?
No, I know that you always have a couple ender questions here, Jay, if you want to. The only other question that I have is, what did you own first, a car or a truck?
A truck.
Did you name it?
I did not. No, I don't think so.
I
wrecked it pretty quickly after owning it, so I don't know if that time to get too attached.
That worked.
Thank God, Britt, he said he had a truck. If he'd have bought a car first, I'd have been, what are we doing?
I mean, with a bull rider, you just never know, because you can fit so many bull riders in a car and everybody splits gas. One person probably didn't pay anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I'm rolling around for shows, I'm rolling around in my wife's old Ford Edge
See?
hatchback. Put up stuff in the back, gets twice the gas mileage. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to impress anyone.
Did you realize that's how the clown car came about years ago? All the cowboys jumped out of the little Pinto.
You had to ride share rodeoing, man.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Mike, we got just a couple more questions here for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to do a little DNA test and see kind of how your music comes about and how maybe where your music came from or your type of music. Okay. Sure. So say if you're driving around back in the day, you're driving around a gravel road and around Iowa, the Midwest here. What song did mom make you listen to?
Oh, mom?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's a lot harder than dad. Disney soundtracks. I'm a Disney kid. And you could get into my mom's car today and it'll be Disney soundtrack.
So, like Let It Go or
I mean, not back then, but Lion King for sure. You know, Jungle Book. Let's see, Aladdin. Aladdin's a big favorite for mom. Yeah.
So back in the day when you were driving around the gravel roads with dad, you know, what was his go-to that he made you listen to?
So dad was going to be more of the Merle Haggard type stuff, but he would range. He would go Merle Haggard, Billy Joe Shaver, but then he would go all the way up to the Beach Boys.
Not Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
You gotta fight.
He would go. Right. We would get some Beach Boys in there. So anything from that era, really.
So is that kind of how you think that kind of makes up your DNA of your music at all? A little Disney and a little Merle Haggard?
I don't know. There's a whole lot of Disney in it. I guess maybe I can't say no for sure, but definitely the Merle, the Whalens, their songs I grew up on. Again, my grandfather listened to that stuff. He had an old radio in his shop that just you never shut it off. So every time you walked in, it was playing that old country music. So that's probably the heaviest influence on my songs. I try very hard to stay true to myself. So most of my songs also have a kind of, I would say, 90s and older feel. I don't dabble too much in anything newer than that.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, Mike, again, thank you for joining Britt and I for the Midwest Drive and get the new single. It's coming out, drops April 4th, the Harvest Hustle. One more question as we head out here tonight.
Sure.
Okay. World's going to end in 5 minutes. What song do you have that's going to be taking us out? What's taking you out? What do you got to hear for the very last time?
For the very last time?
Yeah. This always gets somebody, Britt.
Honestly, I would say if it was right now, it'd probably be Coulter Wall for a great long while. Would be what I'd want to hear. Because that just instantly calms me down.
Yeah.
It chills me out. I do want to say if anyone's in the Des Moines area, I do have 2 ticketed shows coming up. Myself, I'm headlining at Lefty's in Des Moines. And I'm bringing my bottom feeder friends with me, Catfish Murphy. That's their band out of the Waterloo area.
Nice.
They're coming with me. And just recently we added Rural Route, which is an MCMO group that are going to kick the night off for us. So you're getting 3 bands for $10 in Des Moines. So that's all on my Facebook page. So if you want to go and check that out, we'd appreciate it. And then July 12th, me and the guys are playing with Daryl Worley and Mark Wills.
Awesome.
And at the Marshalltown Central Iowa Fair. So
cool.
Tickets are available for both of those.
All right. Check it out on all your social medias too, right?
Yeah, that's where you'll find it.
And those are?
Facebook is just facebook.com/Mike Bernard Music. That's the one that's going to have everything updated on it. And then if you want to, you can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, and that's Mike_Bernard_music. So pretty
excellent. And will you be at the award show coming up April 12th in Okoboji?
I don't know, because I got 2 kids, and I usually can get away for one night and not both. And I haven't decided if I want that one night to be the Friday party and hang out with everybody in a informal way, or if I want it to be the Saturday show. I haven't decided yet. But I'll be up there at some point.
Okay. All right. Britt, any final questions at all, Britt?
No, I think I'm good. That was good music, good time, and looking forward to seeing you down the road.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on here. Thank you.
You had Mike Bernard, everybody. Check him out.
Windows down, and boy, get lost on the edge of town in a Chevrolet. Good Lord, everybody at the bar getting tipsy like a Mustang. One hand on them giddy up reins, hole in your heart with some good aim on a goodbye ride. There was always a life for the ride.